Brad Garlinghouse appears in Congress and is directly asked what he would do to regulate crypto in the US. You need to hear what he says. Charles Hoskinson was also on the Sean Ryan show, and I want you to hear this. It's one of the best answers I've ever heard from Charles Hoskinson, and I'm going to play it right now. We'll also look at some important changes to the EVM sidechain that could be very helpful to you in the future. There's also some new information. Bitwise CEO Horsley says that in the next year, Ripple could turn into an XRP bank. Guys, we're also going to talk about that. Let's begin with Mr. Garlinghouse. Thanks. This is Mr. Garlinghouse, and I have a question that is connected to this one. We are working to make sure that this regulatory system is right for the world of digital assets. One of my worries is that lawmakers and regulators might try to push the digital assets markets and old regulatory frameworks on the market instead of working with technologists and people in the industry who are on the cutting edge of new ideas. I believe that would stop people from coming up with new ideas, which would put us at a big loss. When we think about it, the digital assets environment has some things that aren't found anywhere else. What are some of the most important things you think we should think about as we try to come up with a good regulatory system for the future? Thanks a lot, Senator. There are some special things that I think need to be thought about and used. This law might be the only one of its kind that deals with this issue. Still, I think Mr. Mossad and I disagree on the idea that counting on the SAC and CFTC to work together means that the people they've chosen will do so in good faith. According to what we've seen before, the SAC caused confusion in the market. Under Chairman Gensler, they took different views. In different court cases, they took views that were actually at odds with each other, which made things even more confusing. Because of this, federal courts said things like the SEC was applying the law in an arbitrary and capricious way. There were judges, federal judges, who said they weren't following the rules to the letter. So, the fact that those choices will be made by someone who wasn't elected worries me because it assumes that they will act in good faith. And I think what we saw from the SEC this time was just a war against the business as a whole, with the law not being applied consistently. Well, I think we need to set up a strong enough system so that we don't have to depend on the goodwill of a single regulator, and they know what we want to do. Thanks to everyone. Thanks for that. Okay, that's it. You guys can meet Charles Hoskinson here. You should watch the whole chat if you haven't already. He really does talk about a lot of amazing things. Some of it is crypto, some of it is quantum computing, and some of it is work that Charles does for other businesses. What do you know? I think it's really interesting. You know, Charles was tough to like at first because there was a lot of conflict in the XRP space. He has built bridges and worked with the XRP community in many ways since then. I want to give Charles a second chance, so I'm trying to open my heart. I'm also excited to see what Midnight can bring to the XRP ledger and the people who hold it in this new DeFi layer. Still, let's play this. That is the best that I've ever heard of to explain cryptocurrency. Blockchains are like a set of rules. No one can break what's written in it. If this is your right as a user of the system, then the person who runs it or a power like China or the US can't change it. Things are the way they are. Everyone in the world is treated the same. So it doesn't matter where you were born or what language you speak. You have the same rights as the people who set up the system. In the heritage world, that's not the case at all. If you use a bank like Bill Gates or me, they'll kiss your behind. If you need something, you can just call a number and say it. Yes, of course. We'll leave a stack of cash outside your door. As a poor farmer in Senegal, you can't do that. I use a coin the same way that farmer in Senegal does. Then there's the matter of why there are tokens. That has to do with what kind of world you want to live in. Would you rather have your trust infrastructure owned and run by a federated, stable government, or would you rather have it spread out? When something is decentralized, no one can control it. No one can say, I don't like Sean Ryan. I don't like what he writes. I'm going to kick him out. No, everyone can play the good, bad, and ugly. When different groups are fighting each other in a multipolar world, it makes a lot of sense to have something that everyone agrees is good. We all use, even though we are different. That's pretty much what blockchain is selling. Is trying to sell this. It's possible that we've just made a black swan event, which is something to think about. Now I want to go into a little more detail about what's going on, because, to be honest, nothing is 100% certain yet, but things are getting interesting. As a source, we can see Bill Pult, who is the head of the US FHFA, just posted an article saying that Powell is thinking about stepping down. However, the article was written by Bill Pult himself. That is, Bill Pult is now citing a piece that he himself cites. This is what he's putting on social media. That's pretty cool, right? I had no idea that Bill Pult could post this. I thought there might be some kind of conflict of interest here. I guess I was wrong, or there's a case coming out soon. I don't know, but no matter what, here's a tweet that makes it clear. He posts this story that, sources him right. Pretty weird stuff. It's still here, though. It's taking place. That's pretty crazy, then. Right now, we'll see what happens with that. There are also some pretty crazy things going on in the U.S. government. June was the first time in history that the U.S. government had a budget balance of $27 billion. The amount of tariffs collected in June was 27 billion make, which is 301% more than in June 2024. Okay, this is pretty crazy stuff. In fact, this is the first monthly profit for the U.S. government since 2005. 20 years. 20 years. The last time the U.S. government had a surplus was during the last financial collapse. That was not the last banking crisis, but it was in 2000. 2008, you guys know what I'm talking about. Also, this comes after the third biggest monthly deficit ever, which was $316 billion. There is a surplus and a shortfall, but it's still a cool number and all that. It's good to see that work is being made. Also, the director of digital assets for the U.S. is saying that this is going to be a big week and that it's time to make the U.S. the crypto capital of the world. Take a look at that, please. It's very strong in the crypto space right now. Now, whenever I see that everyone is overly optimistic, I like to take a step back because of something I learned in this book that I keep on my desk all day. Known as The Smart Investment, this is a great book. The book is all I read because I love it, not because I do something cool with them. Every day, I read it. The lesson in that book was very important to me and changed my life. It says to be greedy when other people are scared and scared when other people are greedy. In other words, buy when other people are selling and sell when other people are buying, right? That's pretty much what's going on. Right, and I can see that the markets are in a state of excitement. Yes, it is possible that XRP will go up in value. Bitcoin keeps going crazy, crazy, crazy rocket ships and flames everywhere, any amount of $3, $4, or but. I'm looking at everything and thinking about the facts and the details because I want to make smart choices. To put it simply, I don't want to FOMO in. I don't want to make choices based on how I feel. We heard something, right? Yes, you should buy the rumor and sell the facts. A lot of people believe the story at the moment. For sure. We don't know a lot of other things. It's like we have no idea what the big week ahead will bring. As before, this is just another report from the head of digital assets and the U.S. director of that company. We're not sure what the big week will be like. It might be like the crypto gathering. It might not work out at all. Right, we don't know. And there's a lot of doubt about that, but people are buying like crazy. They don't care much. Let me tell you something, at the end of the day, you should make your own decisions. I don't give business advice. When we see a big green candlestick, I know I'm not going to buy into it. I'm not going to dollar cost average into a big candlestick.